It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it's Walkabout Wednesday in my January garden. Welcome to the depth of winter in Southern California. It's probably, what would you say, 65, maybe 66 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and it's cold. But here I am for you. What do we got? We have got gutter glory happening over here. Am I right? The Senecio rallianus, the string of pearls, is doing its thing. Remember how crappy these looked? I knew we just needed to wait for winter. This is when the string of pearls looks its best by far, is in the cooler months. Also, you know, I've been seeing a lot of webbing, a lot of spiders lately. And, you know, it's a mixed bag because the spiders are beneficials in your garden. They eat bugs that aren't. But the webs look a little, you know, haunted mansion. So when I do not see any evidence of spider, I will clear off the webs. So the Euphorbia millii is still looking large. My Mammillaria cactus looks great. My Euphorbia looks great. Snowflake. This Euphorbia, a little sensitive to the cooler temps. I told you it was a blustery 60-some degrees, and it is complaining a little bit. It's really important, if you start to see the leaves fall off your plants, that you don't water them. It means they're going dormant, and if you water too heavily now, they are going to rot. This little Euphorbia here has lost all of its leaves. We've got a little seed pod there, another little bloom happening in the middle, and this little bloom is still holding on. I'm just so enamored with that red. It just defies description. And I've got weeds. I do. It's been a minute. I really haven't spent very much time out here, you guys, since we got home from the ranch, and I need to. The Euphorbia Trigona Rubra, stunning. My Pilosoceras azuris is Pilosoceras azurising. I have, look at this cute little old man hair, little top knot going on there, and then some blooms up top side. We have, you know, in the open space off to the side of the house, over where the struggling aloe Bainzii is, we have a pine tree. And look, the needles have found their way all the way over here. The bane of my existence right here. Ugh. And, you know, the weeds are, of course, airborne. And, you know, you find them in your pots as well as in the ground. And I really need to spend a day out here just doing some serious grooming. This is very distracting for somebody like me when I'm trying to do a video. Oh, this little cactus is super cute. Look at that. Looks so cute. My little collectibles are looking very good. Wow, this Mammillaria is growing. Look, I've even got a weed under there. A weed here. Ugh! We did get a little rain, so, and now it's, you know, the sun is coming out and it's warming up, so I'll probably get a fresh crop. See all these drops? A couple nights ago, we got hit, and it wasn't even forecasted. It was the weirdest thing, but we got rain. Overall, you know, seeing as how I haven't really spent much of any time out here in well over a month, I'm happy with the plants. They look terrific, but the garden is just starting to look a little runamucky. Things are really growing. Look at those. Look at these aeoniums back here. Do you remember when I planted these as cuttings in the spring of 2021? Look at that. I mean, they're bigger than my head. They're huge. I noticed that my blue ball is completely hidden. I need to rework some things in here. The idea was to get stuff growing up to meet the bougainvillea, not so much growing out, so I need to do some edits. The bougainvillea, you know, it's winter time, so it's going to lose all its leaves. I'll probably put a pretty hard prune on this pretty soon and wait for warmer weather. The cotyledon, I mean, this thing just does not disappoint. The bees are loving it. It blooms magnificently for me every single year. It's kind of a pain in the neck when it's done to deadhead, but totally, ultimately worth it. I've got Fred Ives you know, sticking out a foot into the walk path. This stand definitely needs to be removed and reset for sure.
What about your pot?
Oh, my pot? This pot?
Yeah.
Oh, my Susanok pot. Wow, it's looking very, very good, isn't it? Look at the little blooms on this Euphorbia. How pretty are those? This, of course, gets a little protection from the sun because it's under our little pergola. And the plants, the Aeonium, the Calico Kitten, this Crassula. Oh, everything looks great in here. The sedums are blooming. See, this is an offset, this bloom right here. Here's the rosette, and then this is an offset. So you could probably propagate these leaves if you are so inclined, but and when this is done blooming, this little thing needs to be cut back to the stem, cut back hard on all these offsets. Okay, we'll do that on another walkabout, won't we?
Mm-hmm. In your box, it's kind of growing out.
Yeah, oh dear, yes, I think we're going to have to say goodbye to the tackle box. It's really falling apart.
Put it in a landscape somewhere.
Yeah, we'll move these. These are plants in here. It's really, really beautiful. We'll move them into the landscape or we'll find a new container. One of the two. I ran into Deborah Lee Baldwin at Oasis last week, and she was circling the Kalanchoe Luciae Fantastic crest. And I told her that I had one in my garden that had been here for about a year, and how happy I was with it, that it really hadn't changed much since I planted it. And here it is, and it really hasn't changed much since I planted it. It's still holding all of its magnificent color. Surprisingly, the snails haven't been interested in this either. So it's just sat here and been stunningly beautiful for over a year.
The Dudleya back there.
Oh, I forgot about my Dudleya, my Bretonii. This has been in the garden for over 10 years. And is that poor thing sad or what? Oh my goodness. We have to investigate that another day and see if we can't breathe some life into it and show it some love. I literally forgot it was in there. And this little mangave, I think this is my kaleidoscope, is really rooted. So I'm going to have to find a new place for that too at some point as it starts to grow. That's the challenge when you've got a small garden, you know, trying to find places for everything, right? Oh, gosh, I really do enjoy the weeds. I noticed on my calendar today that I have a day. It's Monday, January 31st. I don't have anything. So if I can just keep that calendar free on that day, that might be the magic time for me to come out and just spend an entire day just dialing all of this in. You see what I mean? I mean, it's just so much happening between the pine needles and the little broadleaf weeds. The Alyssum is going to be something to behold this year. It's already starting to bloom, and it is just everywhere. A lot of what you see here, these aren't weeds. This is Alyssum, sweet Alyssum. And I love it, but I do try to kind of keep it contained because it will take over if I let it. Oh my goodness, the topsy-turvy, still topsy-turvying. Look at that. It could use a little fluffing up. This little crest is really pretty here. But see back here, this is all empty. It would be fun to add some soil and add some plants back here. But the other pots that aren't as tipped are looking very full. I'm very happy with that. And this little shell planter that I did, again, we've got the pine needles. Pine trees belong in the mountains. There, I said it. Ugh. I know, I see this one here too in the cactus. Oh, I got it! Hey, hey! That felt amazing. I got it by the roots. I'll have to come out here with some tweezers and get the rest of those pine needles. And, as you also hilariously pointed out, when I did this little cutting redo over here next to my variegated attenuata, you pointed out that it was in the shape of a phallus. That was not my intent, but since it fell right on the heels of my dropping the Every Garden Needs a Phallus merch, I thought it was especially hilarious. And you're not wrong. It does look like a phallus. But how's it doing? This was a few months ago that I did this. I just popped all of these things in as cuttings. Let's see. Oh yeah, very, very much rooted. See that little sedum? All those little roots? I didn't lose a single thing, I don't think. I don't see any losses in here at all. All of these little plants have rooted. But see, it took a while. That's why I like working with the cuttings, you know, for controlling growth. Because as a cutting, it takes time for it to reestablish a root system before it can even think about growing. So everything stays kind of contained, kind of like a good haircut that doesn't grow out too fast. So yeah, that's looking good, and this will continue to look good for a really long time. I don't need to worry about that. Oh, and while I'm here, great news on the aloe bainzii that I pulled out of my client's garden because it was nearly dead. And I put it, I cut the roots, I mean a lot, to get it to fit into this pot that I have it in. And it was basically dead. And, oh gosh, I probably had it over here for about a year. And the tops have regenerated beautifully. Every single top branch is starting to throw off new leaves. I've got lots of little new branches and growth, and I've got nubs everywhere. So this nub here, this I think is going to be a really, really interesting, beautiful, beautiful piece in my garden within the next couple of years. I may make some more edits. You know, I may cut down some more branches to encourage the nubbing and the side growth where I want it. But the trunk, the base is really super interesting. And I'm just really excited about this.
This is...
Oh, the Stephanotis. Yeah, check it out. This is a seed pod. And left, oh, look at this one here too.
There's another.
And another here. Wow.
And another.
Bunches of them this year. Yeah, the Stephanotis, those seed pods will eventually turn brown and bust, and a bunch of little seeds will fly out. So I'll definitely want to get rid of these before that happens. How cute. Yeah, so, you know, and look at the crassulas, they're all blooming. Hey, that's not a cotyledon over there. It's a crassula. It has the same flower. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep going back and forth with what I call that. It is not a cotyledon, it is a crassula. But this, where I love this, it's getting to the point where I can't even get through anymore. So I might have to make some edits here too at some point. The succulent fountain does not disappoint. Again, it's got, you know, a lot of pine needles in it. Good grief. Ugh. Some leaves from the wisteria, which has gone completely dormant. But this wisteria should flower in about a month. Super excited about that. I just love the smell of wisteria. And those beautiful purple flowers are so stunning. And this blue glow, I've said it before, it's almost to the point where I'm going to have to dig it up and give it to an installation. Because look, you know, it's really starting to infringe on the fountain. It's infringing in the walkway. And it's just getting a little too big. But, you know, I was inspired over here in this old trash can area to put plants that were, you know, didn't necessarily fit in my main back garden, but that I just kind of wanted to almost foster. So this is sort of my foster home here. These are plants, a perii, another blue glow, a mystery agave. I took something out of here recently to take on a project. I don't remember what, but something got dug out of here recently. Oh, right over there. Was it a perii? I don't know. Any rate, so this is another one of my absolute favorite plants, and I'm enjoying it. But when it gets to be a little bigger, I will probably dig that up and share that with a client. Titanotis, same thing. That's going to get massive. Dig that up and share it. This guy down here is ready to be dug up and shared. It's currently just sitting there as a cutting, That was a gift from Robin in Palos Verdes. Thank you very much. And over here, this guy, this aloe, remember that rotted? You all told me that it wouldn't reroot, that, you know, it was going to die. It was just a matter of time. And I don't not agree with you, or I don't not believe you, but I'm still holding out hope that it might throw off some roots. Let's see if anything is happening. No. Nothing's happening, guys.
Cut it again.
Well, it's not mushy, but there's absolutely no roots whatsoever. So I think it's just going to continue to hollow out. It does feel lighter. Darn it. But it still looks okay. It's still kind of interesting. So we're just going to keep it there and pretend like it's alive. I will be tackling this raised bed. See, here's the designer in me. You know, at first glance, this is really beautiful. And overall, you know, when I look at it, just, you know, like I said, glancing, I think, oh, how pretty. But when I really get to looking at it, I realize that I can't see any of the intricate rock work. I can't see any of the mounding that I did. I can barely even see the driftwood that I planted in here. This attenuata pup is getting way too big for its home. And I just really need to deconstruct the entire thing and start over. Ugh. It'll be a great video, but I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work. I think I will definitely leave my crested sunburst where it is. And I'll probably leave the ruchia in here too. But most likely everything else will come out. Like this crassula is a little much. And yeah, and there's just some stuff back here that doesn't even really make sense anymore. So don't panic. I know that you probably are right now. Oh God, don't touch it, but it'll be great, I promise. And last but not least, the lemon tree. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh, when I walk out here, I smell the blossoms. This is my favorite. My single favorite smell in the entire world is citrus blossom. And every time I come out here now, I get a whiff of it. I've got a few lemons that have also set on the tree. And all of the new growth, you know, is looking really healthy and beautiful since I put on some fertilizer, citrus specific, and some Epsom salt treatments. I've been letting it dry out really well in between waterings. And, you know, I think that homeostasis has definitely been restored for my lemon tree. This is freesia, and I have tried multiple times to get rid of the freesia, and every year it still comes back. So once, I'm going to go ahead and let this bloom because it's about to, and I really love the smell. But I'm going to try again to get rid of these freesia, because I think they're competing with the tree for nutrients and for water, and that's no bueno. Look how dense this is. This looked a little scrubby in the summertime. I had just planted a few cuttings in here to kind of flesh this out after I restaged this pot with the pilos, and it looked a little sad. It doesn't look sad anymore. See how these plants have the potential to knit together so beautifully? Yeah. Yep, I have to say, even in the darkest and coldest of days, nothing gives me more pleasure than being outside in my succulent garden, and I hope that you can say the same. Thank you so much for following, for watching Walkabout Wednesday. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and share. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with Walkabout Wednesday. Bye, guys!